I must confess, I did not watch the latest episode of South Park, but boy, is it getting a lot of attention. You see, the episode mocks Disney, Hollywood, or whatever for catering to China by changing symbols and trying to make China happy. And I'll tell you what's really scary. It's not just Hollywood. Check this out. Vans faces Hong Kong boycott. Somebody wanted to make a shoe, and it looked like the Hong Kong protesters, and Vans removed it, sparking outrage because you can design your own shoes. Vans siding with China. And how about this? The Taiwan flag emoji has disappeared from the latest iPhone keyboard for users in Hong Kong and Macau. Tech in these industries in our country are bending over backwards for China. That is not a world I want to live in. Look, China, you do you, I get it. But these companies, these US-based industries are so desperate to get into China and sell products, they are bending over backwards. And here's what's scary. What happens when a company says, hey, why make two games? Just make one game that works for both places. You'll end up with us being negatively impacted by Chinese censorship. Well, South Park tackled that, and now South Park is scrubbed from the Chinese internet. Amazing, isn't it? Let's read this story from The Hollywood Reporter. After the, quote, banned in China episode mocked Hollywood for shaping its content to please the Chinese government, Beijing has responded by deleting all clips, episodes, and discussions of the Comedy Central show. South Park creators Trey Parker and Matt Stone probably saw this coming and, to their credit, simply didn't care. Well, you know, when you've got FU money, you can do this. You can just and they're not super old, but they've done it. Their show's been on the air for a couple decades. They're famous, successful, and extremely wealthy, and so they gave a middle finger to China. The most recent episode of South Park, banned in China, has been generating loads of media attention for its sharp critique of the way Hollywood tends to shape its content to avoid offending Chinese government censors in any way whatsoever. Now those very same government censors in the real world have lashed back at South Park by deleting virtually every clip, episode, and online discussion of the show from Chinese streaming services, social media, and even fan pages. A cursory perusal through China's highly regulated internet landscape shows the show conspicuously absent everywhere it recently had a presence. A search of the Twitter-like social media service Weibo turns up not a single mention of South Park. What a glorious place to live in. And you know, all those saying that we shouldn't have free speech, and look, I get it. They're going to say they do defend free speech. They don't defend free speech. I was going to do an impersonation, but I got a little excited. No, what they're saying is that these big tech firms should have the ability to do what China does. Not interested in that. If I want to see somebody make fun of somebody, that's my choice. But this is where we're heading, because there's lunatics on the left who want to censor everything. They say, on streaming services like Youku, owned by internet giant Alibaba, all links to clips, episodes, and even full seasons of the show are now dead. And on Baidu's Teba, China's largest online discussion platform, the threads and subthreads related to South Park are non-functional. If users manually type in the URL for what was formerly the South Park thread, a message appears saying that, according to the relevant law and regulation, the section is temporarily not open. What a nightmarish dystopia China is. Man, I've been to Hong Kong. I haven't been to Hong Kong. I was in the Hong Kong airport where I had a meal. It's the extent to which I've ever been in China is that far. The draconian response is par for the course for China's authoritarian government, which has even been known to aggressively censor Winnie the Pooh because some local internet users had affectionately taken to comparing Chinese President Xi Jinping to the character. Let me tell you something, dudes, in China. If somehow you see this, all you got to do is like the OK symbol, right? Some people on a forum somewhere use the OK symbol in a certain way, and boom, there it is. Okay. Look at the power you have in China. You make a meme of Winnie the Pooh and they'll ban Winnie the Pooh. Okay, what else do you want banned? There you go. Just get it all banned. Make everything a symbol of mockery. Just do it. Just make, like, I don't know, milk is racist, right? Make a milk meme so they got to remove milk from the internet, or beef or pork. They say South Park's Banned in China episode featured a pair of storylines critical of China. One involves Randy getting caught attempting to sell weed in China and getting sent to a work camp similar to those Beijing has been using in Xinjiang province to hold as many as 1 million Chinese Muslims for political indoctrination. While he's at the work camp, Randy runs into an imprisoned Winnie the Pooh. A second plot follows Stan, Jimmy, Kenny, and Butters forming a metal band. which becomes popular and attracts the attention of a manager who wants to make a film about them, but the script keeps changing so that the film can be safely distributed in China. Now, I know how Hollywood writers feel, Stan says at one point, while a Chinese guard watches over him and alters his work while he writes the script. Several shots are also taken at Disney, including a scene where Mickey Mouse shows up to make sure all his employees, other Marvel and Disney cartoon characters, play ball with the Chinese authorities. You gotta lower your ideals of freedom if you want to suck on the warm teat of China. The episode's critique has proven especially timely in light of the controversy now swirling around the NBA on Sunday. Houston Rockets general manager Daryl Morey issued a tweet expressing his solidarity with Hong Kong's pro-democracy protesters. Although just a single tweet, from just one among thousands of NBA figures, the message sparked a deluge of criticism in China, where the Hong Kong protests have become a hot-button political issue, with Beijing's propaganda apparatus going into overdrive to shape local opinion of the movement as anarchistic and untethered to legitimate political grievances. Chinese broadcasters announced they would stop airing Rockets games, and local sponsors pulled their funds from the team. Fearing financial implications, the Rockets and NBA have since retreated and disavowed Morey's comments in precisely the same way South Park satirized. We cannot, as a country, for any reason ever, bend to the will of Chinese censors. They are not our government. They can't tell us what to do. We have a right to free speech. We can insult whoever we want. China, you're insane. And I don't care. I don't live there. But you know what? Maybe a comment like that comes back for me, but I will stand in defiance. What is this? The Houston Rockets bending over for China? Please. You want to express your opinion? You want to support Hong Kong? You go ahead and do it. But the fact that you are so terrified of local sponsors pulling your funds and you want their money, so you're gonna apologize? Get out of here. Go apologize to an authoritarian. What's the famous saying? Give me liberty or give me death. I will do what I want. And if you want to take that away, well, then I don't care. I don't care about your world and this. I'll leave. Okay? You do you, I do me. That's what I'm all about. So if they want to say you can't say this, okay, I'll go say it somewhere else. And if we ever get to that point, and we're getting dangerously close here in the States, then I have no problem, as I've stated many, many times, taking my van down by the river, sitting up, going fishing, and just saying, you guys, you do you, and I'm alive, and I'm going to stare at the stars and enjoy myself. But it's insane. And you got to recognize how dangerous this is. Look at this story with Vans. People are now boycotting Vans. So I guess apparently they say Vans removed a shoe, alluding to the city's anti-government protests from a sneaker design competition. The company's decision to withdraw the proposed design was met with outrage on social media. This is why it's extremely dangerous that China gains power. Companies like Vans, you know what? I'm gonna say no to Vans right now. I actually own a bunch of pairs. Nah, I'm already buying a different brand anyway, and that's why I'm like, you know what? If Vans wants to bend over for China because they want that Chinese moolah, I don't want to give you moolah anyway. You don't get my money if you're more concerned about what an authoritarian communist government thinks, okay? Because they're gonna dish out the dollar bills. Think about how dangerous this is. Vans makes shoes. Somebody wants this Hong Kong protest shoe. Hey, very significant. Okay, let's do it. But China will ban all Vans everywhere. So think about it this way. If I made a Vans shoe here in the United States, and it's like on the website and featured, China could say, get rid of that, otherwise we'll stop selling your shoe here. Vans will do something to that effect. It sounds like that's what's happening, right? I should say, think about what the future will be like if this persists. If we enter a point now where a company starts in the US with aspirations to make it to China, they are going to bend to the lowest common denominator. If the US is free, great, we'll be free. But if China isn't, then we're going to do whatever China says because the US doesn't care. I think we as Americans have to care. And we cannot accept this. Guess what? The Taiwanese flag exists, China. You can't take it away. And why is iPhone is getting rid of it? They're so desperate to sell their products in these countries. They're willing to violate our norms and our freedoms, or like what we view to be rights. Let it be said that these companies have no allegiance to true civil rights or what people actually believe in. Whenever they want to come out and claim to be doing activist stuff, they're full of it. So props to South Park and, hey, Comedy Central for actually airing this episode. The iPhone doesn't care about what's right for people. Apple doesn't. Vans doesn't care about what's right for people. What's right for people is the right to express yourself and to challenge the authorities that are oppressing you. Now, I know there are a lot of people on the left who would say, hey, what about the oppressors here in the US? Right? by all means protest. 100%. If you want an Antifa flag emoji on iPhone, hey, I think that's a great idea. Go ahead and do it. Okay? It's when you start attacking people, you've crossed the line. People have a right to express themselves. You want to make a Vans Antifa shoe? I seriously don't care. I'm not going to buy it. You buy it. Congratulations. Go for it. We don't do that in the U.S. You're allowed to express yourself. But if these companies are going to bend over to do whatever China says, it's going to get really bad really fast. I'll tell you that. Because you'll see every company start doing this. Hey, man, what if we sell a candy bar and it somehow might make its way to China? It's a big market. Don't want to infringe. Don't want to shrink our market. Let's cater to the Chinese Communist Party. Not interested. Anyway, I'll wrap it up there. Stick around. Next segment will be tomorrow at 10 a.m. Podcast at 6:30. I'll see you all next time.